Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. I am so glad you're here. And friend, how are you doing? Okay, have you emotionally checked in with yourself lately? Because this kid hasn't, and his parents haven't showed him how to do it. And you know what? I kind of want your opinion on this little topic today, so be prepared to type in the comments down below. Okay, for those who missed what the sign said, I'll go ahead and pause the video so you can read it. Now, for starters, let me say that I do not condone violence in any shape or form. However, there is probably a multitude of reasons as to why this kid did what he did. Like, he could see this type of stuff at home. He could see this type of stuff on TV. He could have mental issues and just doesn't know how to express himself properly. But I did go ahead and put my 2 cents in on this video as a comment. So I'll read that real quick because it did get a response. Alright y'all, so my comment reads, in my opinion, I believe that he's struggling with his mental health if he is unable to healthily express his emotions, and public humiliation does not help mental health at all. Thankfully, I'm not tasked with handling the aftermath of him hitting people, but if I was, I would take time to brainstorm multiple ideas and pick the one that is effective, gets the point across, gets his needs/thoughts heard, and doesn't mentally scar him. That's the important one. I believe parents ignore the mentally scarring part a lot and just want to handle a situation that is the most convenient for the parent's mental health, not taking into consideration the mental impact it would have on the child. Alright, now after saying all that, I did get a respectful response, so I'm just going to go ahead and read that as well. Alright, this person says, this kid hurt multiple girls in his school to a point where he got kicked out, ? As someone who struggles with mental health and had to change schools because of it, this doesn't excuse the actions he's made. I doubt this was the parents' go-to punishment either. Well, I mean, first things first, they are right. Like, this does not excuse his actions at all, and I apologize for not making that a clear point in my original comment. But let's go ahead and take a look at the effects of public humiliation, because that's really the main point of the topic today, or at least that's what I want the main point to be, because that was my main concern with this whole punishment. Matter of fact, let me go ahead and screenshot this. We're going to read that in a second. And then let me go ahead, I'll screenshot the bottom one too. Okay, so the AI one says that public humiliation can have a variety of long-lasting and serious consequences, including mental health. Humiliation can lead to depression, anxiety, paranoia, and PTSD. It can also cause internalized trauma, which can lead to flashbacks, nightmares, sleeplessness, and social isolation. It can also cause emotional vulnerability, which humiliation can increase emotional vulnerability and reduce emotional reserve. This can lead to feelings of hopelessness and a sense of being trapped, which can increase the risk of the S word. Anyway, revenge. Humiliation can lead to a feeling of rage and fury and a desire for revenge. People who have been humiliated may lash out against innocent victims as a way to seek release. Also, it can ruin trust. Humiliation can cause people to lose trust in others. Okay, this second one says, damaging consequences of humiliation. Suffering severe humiliation has been shown empirically to plunge individuals into major depressions, suicide states, and severe anxiety states, including one's characteristics of post-traumatic stress disorder. Okay, so I'm turned around. Okay, so now that we know the effects of what public humiliation can do we all think that what's going down here is a little not okay? Because at the end of the day, the goal is not to get the child to hate you. The goal is not to get the child to have PTSD, depression, or anxiety, or nothing like that. The goal is to help the child work through their anger, work through their emotions, better understand it so he could better work with it, okay? And I think it's every traumatized parent's goal to give their child a better childhood than what they had. And 8 times out of 10, it's slightly better, but not for the reason that the traumatized parent thinks. The childhood was better because maybe you chose not to beat your kids the same way that you was beat. Or maybe you let your kid eat anything for breakfast because your parents had a strict diet. But those slight changes only go so far because the traumatized parent still passes on bad traits because they never became emotionally available for themselves. So their child still inherits the depression, anxiety, self-doubting thoughts, anger issues, etc. because the parent never taught the child how to emotionally regulate themselves because the parent never stopped the generational emotional trauma. But the weird part is some of the smallest actions or conversations is what causes some of the biggest impacts. Okay, so for example, the other day I was at the grocery store and I was next to this dad and daughter pair while I was at self-checkout. So I was minding my business, but I could overhear their conversation, and the dad was frustrated with the little girl because she wanted to help bag the groceries. And then so he snapped at her and was like, "Oh, I didn't ask you for help, did I? Then stop touching stuff until I tell you." So now clearly that dad was upset before getting to self-checkout, and instead of working through that upset, he directed it at his child who was only trying to help. And I'm not saying that he couldn't have asked her to just step aside, but he didn't have to be rude, and he could have very much said something along the lines of "Hey, thank you for helping, but I would like to finish bagging by myself. So could you please stand by and watch the cart for me?" And then that way he could have shown her that even when you're upset, you can still communicate in a respectful manner. You don't have to make someone feel bad just because something is making you feel bad. But since he didn't take that softer approach, that small conversation can grow into something bigger, like seeking out partners who speak to her like that, or negative self-talk, or accepting and believing verbal abuse, and whatever else. And a lot of people might say that it's not that deep, but that's because a lot of those people don't care about their own feelings, so why would they care about someone else's? Alright friends, so that's all I have for today. Please go ahead and like, subscribe, and comment your respectful opinion down below. If you have any video suggestions, you can go ahead and send it to the Instagram that's listed on your screen right now. And yeah, I'm so thankful that you spent this time with me in video. Damn it. And YouTube thinks that you'll like this video next, so why don't you go ahead and click it.